Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily Dose of English. I'm Tom, and I'm so excited to see you here today. If you're new to our channel, welcome to our English learning family. We make English simple, fun, and practical for everyday life. Today, we're going to talk about something very important and very useful. We're going to learn how to ask for directions like a native speaker. How to ask for directions like a native speaker. Now you repeat. Have you ever been lost in a new city? Have you ever needed to find a restaurant, a bank, or maybe the nearest bathroom? Of course you have. We all get lost sometimes, and that's totally normal. But when you're in an English-speaking country, asking for directions can feel scary. Don't worry. By the end of this lesson, you'll feel confident asking anyone for help. We'll learn the most common phrases native speakers use. We'll practice pronunciation together with shadowing. And I'll teach you some secret tricks that even advanced English learners don't know. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Main lesson: basic vocabulary. Let's start with the basic words you need to know. These are the building blocks for asking directions. Building blocks means the essential parts you need. Building blocks for asking directions. Building blocks for asking directions. Now you repeat. First, let's learn the question words. The most important one is where. 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 Now you repeat. This little word is your best friend when you're lost. Your best friend when you're lost. Now you repeat. Next is how. How, how. Now you repeat. We use this to ask about the method or way to get somewhere. The method or way to get somewhere. Now you repeat. Now let's learn some direction words. These are words that tell you which way to go. Which way to go. Which way to go. Now you repeat. Left, that's this direction. Left, left. Now you repeat. Point to your left while you say it. This helps your brain remember better. Right, that's this direction. Right, right. Now you repeat. Point to your right. Good. Straight. That means continue forward without turning. Straight, straight. Now you repeat. Continue forward without turning. Continue forward without turning. Now you repeat. Here's a fun cultural note. In British English, people often say straight on instead of just straight. Both are correct. Straight on. Straight on. Now you repeat. Now some useful prepositions. These are small words that show location. Small words that show location. Small words that show location. Now you repeat. Next to means beside something. Next to. Next to. Now you repeat. For example, the bank is next to the coffee shop. The bank is next to the coffee shop. Now you repeat. Across from means on the other side. Across from. Across from. Now you repeat. The post office is across from the park. The post office is across from the park. Now you repeat. Between means in the middle of two things. Between, between. Now you repeat. The restaurant is between the bank and the bookstore. Let's break this into parts. The restaurant is between the bank. The restaurant is between the bank. Now you repeat. And the bookstore. And the bookstore. Now you repeat. Essential phrases for asking directions. Now let's learn the most important phrases. These are the sentences you'll use most often. The sentences you'll use most often. Now you repeat. The first and most useful phrase is, "Excuse me, where is..." This is super polite and perfect for any situation. Let's practice. Excuse me, where is... Excuse me, where is... Now you repeat. You can add any place after this phrase. Excuse me, where is the train station? Let's break it down. Excuse me, where is... Excuse me, where is... Now you repeat. The train station? The train station? Now you repeat. Here's another great one. Could you tell me how to get to... This sounds very natural and polite. Could you tell me how to get to... Could you tell me how to get to... Now you repeat. For example, could you tell me how to get to the airport? Let's practice in parts. Could you tell me how to get to? Could you tell me how to get to? Now you repeat. The airport? The airport? Now you repeat. Sometimes you need to be more specific about walking or driving. How do I walk to the museum? How do I walk to the museum? Now you repeat. Or, what's the best way to drive to the downtown? Let's break this one. What's the best way to drive? What's the best way to drive? Now you repeat. To downtown. To downtown. Now you repeat. Here's a phrase that sounds very native. Do you know where I can find? This is perfect when you're looking for a type of place, not a specific place. Do you know where I can find? Do you know where I can find? Now you repeat. For example, do you know where I can find a good coffee shop? Let's practice. Do you know where I can find? Do you know where I can find? Now you repeat. A good coffee shop? A good coffee shop? Now you repeat. Understanding directions. Now asking for directions is only half the battle. The other half is understanding the answer. Understanding the answer. Understanding the answer. Now you repeat. Let's learn the most common phrases people use when giving directions. When someone helps you, they might say, "Go straight for 2 blocks." Go straight for 2 blocks. Now you repeat. A block is the distance between 2 streets in a city. The distance between 2 streets. The distance between 2 streets. Now you repeat. So 2 blocks means you pass 2 cross streets. You pass 2 cross streets. Now you repeat. They might say, "Turn left at the traffic light." Turn left at the traffic light. Now you repeat. Or turn right at the corner. Turn right at the corner. Now you repeat. Here's an important one. It's on your right. This means the place is on the right side as you walk. It's on your right. It's on your right. Now you repeat. Or, it's on your left. It's on your left. Now you repeat. Sometimes people will say, "You can't miss it." This means it's very easy to see or find. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. Now you repeat. It's a friendly way to say the place is obvious. The place is obvious. Now you repeat. People might also give you landmarks. These are big, easy to see things that help you navigate. Big, easy to see things that help you navigate. Now you repeat. For example, it's next to the big church. It's next to the big church. Now you repeat. Or, look for the red building. Look for the red building. Now you repeat. Practice section. Shadowing drills. Now let's practice these phrases together. I'll say each sentence twice, then you repeat. Remember, try to copy my rhythm and tone. Copy my rhythm and tone. Copy my rhythm and tone. Now you repeat. Ready? Here we go. Excuse me, where is the post office? Excuse me, where is the post office? Now you repeat. Could you tell me how to get to the hotel? Could you tell me how to get to the hotel? Now you repeat. How do I walk to the nearest bank? How do I walk to the nearest bank? Now you repeat. Do you know where I can find a pharmacy? Do you know where I can find a pharmacy? Now you repeat. Is there a supermarket around here? Is there a supermarket around here? Now you repeat. Great job. Now let's practice understanding directions. Go straight for 3 blocks. Go straight for 3 blocks. Now you repeat. Turn left at the second traffic light. Turn left at the second traffic light. Now you repeat. It's on your right, next to the coffee shop. Let's break this. It's on your right. It's on your right. Now you repeat. Next to the coffee shop. Next to the coffee shop. Now you repeat. You'll see it across from the park. You'll see it across from the park. Now you repeat. Advanced phrases and polite language. Now let's learn some more advanced phrases that will make you sound even more natural. More natural. More natural. Now you repeat. Sometimes you need to ask follow-up questions. These are questions you ask for more information. Questions you ask for more information. Now you repeat. If you don't understand, you can say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Now you repeat. This is much better than just saying, what, which can sound rude. You might ask, is it far from here? This means, is it a long distance? Is it far from here? Is it far from here? Now you repeat. Or, how long does it take to walk there? This asks about time, not distance. How long does it take to walk there? How long does it take to walk there? Now you repeat. Here's a very useful phrase. Am I going the right way? This is perfect when you want to check if you're walking in the correct direction. Am I going the right way? Am I going the right way? Now you repeat. And don't forget to be polite. Always start with excuse me and end with thank you. Always start with excuse me. Always start with excuse me. Now you repeat. And end with thank you. And end with thank you. Now you repeat. Here's a nice way to thank someone. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much for your help. Now you repeat. Or simply, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Now you repeat. Common places you might need to find. Let's practice with common places you might need to find when travelling or living in an English-speaking country. When travelling or living in an English-speaking country. Now you repeat. Transportation places. Where is the train station? Where is the train station? Now you repeat. How do I get to the bus stop? How do I get to the bus stop? Now you repeat. Could you tell me where the airport is? Could you tell me where the airport is? Now you repeat. Essential services. Do you know where the nearest bank is? Do you know where the nearest bank is? Now you repeat. Where can I find a post office? Where can I find a post office? Now you repeat. Is there a hospital around here? Is there a hospital around here? Now you repeat. Shopping and food. Where's the closest supermarket? Where's the closest supermarket? Now you repeat. Could you point me to a good restaurant? Could you point me to a good restaurant? Now you repeat. Do you know where I can buy clothes? Do you know where I can buy clothes? Now you repeat. Role-play practice. Now let's practice with some role-play dialogues. I'll be person A, and you can imagine you're person B. You can practice both parts later. You can practice both parts later. Now you repeat. Dialogue 1. Looking for a coffee shop. Person. Excuse me, do you know where I can find a good coffee shop? Person B. Sure. There's a great one called Bean. They're just 2 blocks away. Person A. How do I get there? Person B. Go straight down this street, turn right at the traffic light, and it's on your left. Person A. Is it far? Can I walk? Person B. Oh yes, it's only about a 5-minute walk. You can't miss it. It has a big green sign. Person A. Perfect. Thank you so much for your help. Person B. You're welcome. Enjoy your coffee. Let's practice some key phrases from this dialogue. There's a great one called. Now you repeat. Just 2 blocks away. Just 2 blocks away. Now you repeat. About a 5-minute walk. About a 5-minute walk. Now you repeat. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. Now you repeat. Dialogue 2. Finding the train station. Person. E. Excuse me, I'm looking for the train station. Could you help me? Person B. Of course. Are you walking or driving? Person A. I'm walking. Person B. Okay, it's about a 10-minute walk from here. Go straight until you reach the big intersection. Then turn left. Person A. Sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't catch the last part. Person B. Sure. Go straight to the big intersection. That's where 4 roads meet. Then turn left. The station is right there. Person A. Great. Is there anything I should look for? Person B. Yes, you'll see a tall clock tower. The station is right next to it. Person A. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Key phrases to practice. I'm looking for. Now you repeat. Could you help me? Could you help me? Now you repeat. I didn't catch the last part. I didn't catch the last part. Now you repeat. Is there anything I should look for? Is there anything I should look for? Now you repeat. Common mistakes to avoid. Let me share some common mistakes that English learners make when asking for directions. Mistakes that English learners make. Mistakes that English learners make. Now you repeat. Mistake 1. being too direct. Don't just walk up to someone and say, "Where bank?" This sounds rude. Always start with "excuse me" and use complete sentences. Always start with "excuse me." Always start with "excuse me." Now you repeat. Mistake 2. Forgetting to say please and thank you. These magic words make you sound polite and friendly. These magic words make you sound polite. These magic words make you sound polite. Now you repeat. Mistake 3. Not asking for clarification. If you don't understand something, ask. It's better to ask twice than to get lost. Better to ask twice than to get lost. Better to ask twice than to get lost. Now you repeat. Mistake 4. Using the wrong preposition. Don't say "where is in the bank." Say "where is the bank?" Where is the bank? Where is the bank? Now you repeat. Cultural tips. Here are some cultural tips that will help you when asking for directions in English-speaking countries. In English-speaking countries. In English-speaking countries. Now you repeat. In the United States and Canada, people are usually very helpful with directions. They'll often give you very detailed instructions. Very detailed instructions. Very detailed instructions. Now you repeat. In the UK, people might say, "I'm afraid I don't know," if they can't help. Don't worry. I'm afraid here just means unfortunately. 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 Now you repeat. In Australia, people might use different words. Instead of traffic light, they might say traffic lights. Plural. Traffic lights. Traffic lights. Now you repeat. Most English speakers will slow down and speak more clearly when they realise you're learning English. This is a good thing. They want to help you succeed. They want to help you succeed. They want to help you succeed. Now you repeat. Storytelling section. Let me tell you a short story about Maria, who used these phrases on her first day in London. Her first day in London. Her first day in London. Now you repeat. Maria stepped off the train at Victoria Station. She was excited but also nervous. She needed to find her hotel, but she had never been to London before. She had never been to London before. She had never been to London before. Now you repeat. She saw a friendly-looking woman and took a deep breath. "Excuse me," Maria said politely. "Could you tell me how to get to the Grand Hotel?" The woman smiled. "Of course, dear. It's not far at all." "Go straight out of the station," the woman explained. "Turn right at the first big street. That's Victoria Street. Walk for about 5 minutes and you'll see it on your left. It's a tall building with a red door. It's a tall building with a red door. It's a tall building with a red door. Now you repeat. Maria wasn't sure she understood everything. "I'm sorry, could you repeat the part about the street?" she asked. The helpful woman repeated the directions more slowly. Maria thanked her warmly and set off confidently. She thanked her warmly and set off confidently. She thanked her warmly and set off confidently. Now you repeat. 15 minutes later, Maria was checking into her hotel. She felt proud of herself for asking for help politely and clearly. She had successfully navigated her first conversation about directions in English. She had successfully navigated her first conversation. She had successfully navigated her first conversation. Now you repeat. Advanced situations, Sometimes asking for directions can be more complicated. Let's learn how to handle these situations. How to handle these situations. How to handle these situations. Now you repeat. What if someone gives you directions but you get lost anyway? You can ask someone else. Excuse me, I think I'm lost. Someone told me to turn left at the church, but I can't find it. Let's break this down. Excuse me, I think I'm lost. Excuse me, I think I'm lost. Now you repeat. Someone told me to turn left at the church. Someone told me to turn left at the church. Now you repeat. But I can't find it. But I can't find it. Now you repeat. What if you need to ask about public transportation? How do I get to the museum by bus? How do I get to the museum by bus? Now you repeat. Or, which train should I take to get downtown? Which train should I take to get downtown? Now you repeat. What if you need directions while driving? What's the best route to the highway? What's the best route to the highway? Now you repeat. Or, how do I avoid the traffic jam? How do I avoid the traffic jam? Now you repeat. Useful phrases for different situations. Let's learn some phrases for specific situations you might encounter. Specific situations you might encounter. Specific situations you might encounter. Now you repeat. At the airport. How do I get to Terminal 2? How do I get to Terminal 2? Now you repeat. In a shopping mall, could you tell me where the food court is? Could you tell me where the food court is? Now you repeat. In a hospital, I'm looking for the emergency room. I'm looking for the emergency room. Now you repeat. At a university, do you know where the library is? Do you know where the library is? Now you repeat. In a hotel, how do I get to the swimming pool? How do I get to the swimming pool? Now you repeat. Emergency situations. Sometimes you might need directions in an emergency. In an emergency. In an emergency. Now you repeat. Here are some important phrases. Where is the nearest hospital? Where is the nearest hospital? Now you repeat. I need to find a police station quickly. I need to find a police station quickly. Now you repeat. Could you call an ambulance for me? Could you call an ambulance for me? Now you repeat. Is there a pharmacy open now? Is there a pharmacy open now? Now you repeat. Remember, in real emergencies in English-speaking countries, you can call 911 in the US and Canada, or 999 in the UK for immediate help. For immediate help. For immediate help. Now you repeat. Body language and non-verbal communication. When asking for directions, your body language is also important. Your body language is also important. Your body language is also important. Now you repeat. Make eye contact when speaking to someone. This shows you're respectful and interested. This shows you're respectful and interested. Now you repeat. Use your hands to gesture when you don't understand. point in directions, or make questioning faces. It's okay to use gestures. It's okay to use gestures. Now you repeat. Nod your head when you understand something. This shows the other person that you're following their directions. You're following their directions. You're following their directions. Now you repeat. Don't be afraid to look confused if you are confused. Most people will try harder to help you if they see you need more explanation. If they see you need more explanation. If they see you need more explanation. Now you repeat. Practice challenge. Here's a fun challenge for you to practice at home. A fun challenge for you to practice at home. A fun challenge for you to practice at home. Now you repeat. Look at a map of your city or any city online. Pick 5 different places. A hospital, a restaurant, a bank, a school, and a park. Practice asking for directions to each place using different phrases we learned today. Different phrases we learned today. Different phrases we learned today. Now you repeat. For example, excuse me, where is City Hospital? Then, could you tell me how to get to Mario's restaurant? Then, do you know where I can find a good bank? And so on. Practice giving directions too. Imagine someone asks you how to get from your house to the nearest supermarket. How would you explain it? How would you explain it? How would you explain it? Now you repeat. Common responses you'll hear. Let's learn some common responses people give when you ask for directions. When you ask for directions. When you ask for directions. Now you repeat. I'm not from around here. This means they don't know the area well. I'm not from around here. I'm not from around here. Now you repeat. Sorry, I have no idea. This means they don't know. Sorry, I have no idea. Sorry, I have no idea. Now you repeat. Let me think. This means they're trying to remember. Let me think. Let me think. Now you repeat. Oh, that's easy. This means the place is close and easy to find. Oh, that's easy. Oh, that's easy. Now you repeat. That's a bit tricky. This means the directions might be complicated. That's a bit tricky. That's a bit tricky. Now you repeat. Final practice round. Let's do one final practice round with some complete conversations. Complete conversations. Complete conversations. Now you repeat. Practice conversation 1. You, excuse me, where is the nearest ATM? Response. There's one inside the grocery store across the street. You, is the store open now? Response. Yes, it's open until 10 p.m. You. Perfect. Thank you so much. Let's practice your parts. Excuse me, where is the nearest ATM? Excuse me, where is the nearest ATM? Now you repeat. Is the store open now? Is the store open now? Now you repeat. Perfect. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now you repeat. Practice conversation 2. You. Could you help me find the subway station? Response. Sure. Which line do you need? You. I need the blue line to downtown. Response. Go down this street and turn left at the second intersection. You'll see the entrance on your right. You. How long does it take to walk there? Response. About 7 or 8 minutes. You. Great! I really appreciate your help. Your parts. Could you help me find the subway station? Could you help me find the subway station? Now you repeat. I need the blue line to downtown. I need the blue line to downtown. Now you repeat. How long does it take to walk there? How long does it take to walk there? Now you repeat. Great. I really appreciate your help. Great. I really appreciate your help. Now you repeat. Recap and call to action. Wow. Look how much we've learned today. Look how much we've learned today. Look how much we've learned today. Now you repeat. Let's quickly review the most important points. First, always be polite. Start with excuse me and end with thank you. Always be polite. Always be polite. Now you repeat. Second, learn the key question phrases. Where is? How do I get to? And could you tell me? These three phrases will solve most of your direction problems. These three phrases will solve most problems. These three phrases will solve most problems. Now you repeat. Third, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Could you repeat that? And I'm sorry I didn't understand are your best friends. Are your best friends. Are your best friends. Now you repeat. Fourth, practice the common direction words left, right, straight, next to, across from, and between. Practice these every day. Practice these every day. Now you repeat. Fifth, remember that most people want to help you. Don't be shy. Most people are kind and patient with English learners. Most people are kind and patient. Most people are kind and patient. Now you repeat. I want you to practice these phrases this week. Find opportunities to ask for directions, even if you already know where you're going. Even if you already know where you're going. Even if you already know where you're going. Now you repeat. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. The more confident you'll become, the more confident you'll become. Now you repeat. Remember, making mistakes is part of learning. Every native speaker will understand that you're learning English and will try to help you. Will try to help you. Will try to help you. Now you repeat. Before you go, I have a question for you. What's the most difficult thing about asking for directions in English? Leave a comment below and let me know. I read every single comment and I love hearing from you. If this lesson helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps other English learners find our channel. It really helps other English learners. It really helps other English learners. Now you repeat. And don't forget to subscribe to Daily Dose of English for more practical English lessons like this one. We publish new videos every week to help you speak English with confidence. To help you speak English with confidence. To help you speak English with confidence. Now you repeat. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a lesson. You never miss a lesson. You never miss a lesson. Now you repeat. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Keep practicing, keep improving. And remember, every small step forward is progress. Every small step forward is progress. Every small step forward is progress. Now you repeat. I'm Tom from Daily Dose of English, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep speaking English, and don't be afraid to ask for directions when you need them. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.